What's up guys, welcome to another video. This is Charlie Lin. Okay, so today I may be doing this video in a little bit different way than before because as you can see that I'm sitting right in front of my laptop instead of on a sofa like I did before. Why? Because this is one of the easiest ways that I can do new videos. In the past, every time I wanted to do a new video, I felt very nervous because I felt like I need to look like a TV presenter or something. Usually I'm most relaxed when I'm sitting right in front of my laptop, when I'm chatting with my clients, when I'm chatting with my suppliers. So today I think to myself, why not just do a video when I feel most relaxed? Just like when I'm talking to anybody in everyday work and everyday life. I know I haven't been posting a lot of videos in the past few months, and almost every single day I've been thinking to myself like, hey, I'm the guy with Charlie Lim YouTube channel. I'm Charlie Lim himself. I need to do more videos. Otherwise, I can no longer call myself a YouTuber. Although I'm selling a lot of ASICs, probably more ASICs than before, especially in the past 2 to 3 months because of the huge hype in Casper and also because of the great comeback of all the cryptos, including Bitcoin, from under 30,000 to over 40,000, which is a big breakthrough. And also, I want to say to every one of you, when you're watching this video, Merry Christmas. If you do celebrate Christmas, I know the political correctness is very huge in the Western world. And if you don't celebrate Christmas, I also wish you a very happy holiday and also a very happy New Year 2024. Okay, without any further ado, let me jump to today's general ASIC mine updates. So today's ASIC mine updates is going to be a little bit different than before because I'm going to be more mathematical. I'm going to be talking about a lot of hash rate numbers, and also I'm even going to talk a little bit about the prices, which I tried to avoid talking about in the past because I didn't want to sound very commercial or very business style. Okay, so in today's ASIC mine updates, I'm going to talk about from the perspectives of the cryptocurrencies themselves. I'm going to cover ASIC miners for Bitcoin, Casper, Dogecoin, Cadena, and finally Dashcoin. For the Bitcoin, I want to give you the perspective of hash rate volume from low hash rate to medium hash rate and finally to the high hash rate. So for low hash rate, I want to talk about 86 terahash to 112 terahash. So for medium hash rate, I want to talk about from 117 terahash to 124 terahash. So for high hash rate, I want to cover from 141 terahash to 335 terahash. So starting with low hash rate, for some of you guys that don't pay a lot of electricity cost, you can choose those low hash rate Bitcoin miners. Especially in Europe, if you use some solar power and your government may give you cheaper electricity or even free electricity, especially if you work from Africa or if you are in South America or, like Paraguay, you may be getting some very cheap electricity. So in case you get very cheap electricity or you just don't care how much you pay for the electricity, you can choose the low hash rate machines for Bitcoin mining. So a very standard and classical model for low hash rate Bitcoin miners is the Antminer S19 86 terahash and 90 terahash. I even included 110 terahash or 112 terahash into the low hash rate category because, the hash rate has grown so much. Back to S19 86 terahash and 90 terahash, before they used to be all available. They almost have never gone out of the quotation sheet from most of the distributors and even including myself. Every time you come to me for an 86 or 90 terahash, I'm always going to say yes. But from the last few weeks, the answer is no. It does look like the Bitmain company does not want to produce more 86 or 90 terahash, except just from 2 days ago, I heard a deal from a distributor. They said they have, hundreds of S19 90 terahash. But other than that, I don't hear about this model available coming from anybody else. And the price is very high also, which does not make it a very good deal. So you may want to ask me, what is the alternative here? The alternative may be getting the WhatsMiners. So for WhatsMiners, they do have a bunch of choices. I would like to say in the English word, miscellaneous choices. And they have these interesting model numbers called M30S Plus. And they also have M30S++. I don't know why they call it double plus. For the M30S Plus, they have 88 all the way to 106 terahash, with every 2 terahash different. Let's say 80, 88, 90, 92, 94, 96, 98, you name it, all the way to 106 terahash. But you also have to pay attention that WhatsMiner offers even more choices other than that. It is the power output, or you can say the power efficiency. It is 32, 34, 36, and 38 joules per terahash, or watt per terahash. I don't know what's the real difference there. People say it differently. If the number is higher, it does mean the WhatsMiner consumes more power. The cost of the machine should be cheaper as well. Sometimes when you get a quote from your distributor or reseller, or when you see a price from the reseller or retail website, you really have to pay attention to what is the power output, what is the power efficiency. Is it 32, 34, 36, or 38 watt per terahash? The next option I want to talk about is M30S Plus, which is slightly more efficient than M30S Plus. Thank God there's only one choice, 31 watt. So for M30S Plus 31 watt, we have all the hash rates from 98 terahash all the way to 110 terahash, with every 2 terahash different. Let's say 98, 100, 102, 104, all the way to 110 terahash. For the low hash rate models, we also have to cover the S19J Pro 100 terahash and S19J Pro 104 terahash, which were both very classical and typical models of the Antminers for medium hash rate, especially the S19J Pro 104 terahash. However, we do have to say that they have been out of stock for a very, very long time. We don't know why. Maybe Bitmain has delisted them from the inventory. So an alternative, you may ask me, I would say is exactly the M30S Plus 31 watt per terahash from 98 terahash all the way to 110 terahash. Finally, we also have M50, which is also WhatsMiner 30 watt per terahash. It is 110 and 112 terahash. So this is for the low hash rate models. In the past, I always say, oh, the only choice we have is the Antminer, but just because the 86 or 90 terahash of the S19 models have gone out of availability, so I really want to draw more attention to the WhatsMiners because they do offer really many choices. All these different powers outputs, it's like they don't want to lie on their power efficiency. When it is costing more power, they just tell you exactly the power output. Instead of the Antminers, they give you just one hash rate number, just one power output, but we know that they do variate from each other when you actually turn them on. I don't know what's the reason. Maybe because the WhatsMiner have really small production run, so there is a higher level of tolerance. So they just happen to have all these different choices for all of us. Okay, so that's pretty much for the low hash rate choices for the Bitcoin mining. Let's jump to Bitcoin medium hash rate mining. It is 117 terahash to 124 terahash. We have to start from S19J Pro 117 terahash or 120 terahash. These two models, they also have been not easy to find in the quotation sheet from the distributors or resellers or from the retail websites. It's mainly because the popularity of the S19K Pro 115 terahash or 120 terahash, which is said to be more power efficient than the S19J Pro 117 or 120 terahash. However, you do have to pay attention to the S19J Pro Plus. The cost is $1 or $2 better than the S19K Pro. So if you do want to save a little bit more money, you can get the S19J Pro Plus. But we do know the more popular option is S19K Pro, which is upgradable to like 130 terahash or even higher. And I noticed that Guntis Vitolins, who owns the Mineshop.eu, he has a video for the Luxo software for overclocking of the S19K Pro. You can check it out if you are interested. Okay, so for the medium hash rate, we also want to talk about the M50, which is also WhatsMiner. And they also have a bunch of choices from 116 terahash to 124 terahash. While the more popular option is, or the more available options are 118, 120, 122. And here you also have to notice that they also have different power efficiency variations from 27 to 29. So you do have to notice and have to remember that you will pay different prices. And if your seller charges you more money or the same price for a less efficient miner for the same model number, you can ask him the question, question, hey, that should cost less, right? Okay, so that's pretty much for the medium hash rate, which is not a lot of choices. Now I want to cover the high hash rate models from 141 terahash to 335 terahash. Starting with the 141 terahash, you guessed it, it's S19 XP 141 terahash. And of course, we also cannot forget that we also have the S19 XP 134 terahash. And the availability of these S19 XP have been on and off for a while, and like a few weeks ago, the price for the S19 XP 141 was really good, but very few people would like to order them, and all of a sudden they went out of stock. Maybe because the Bitcoin was crossing 40,000 really quickly, so it was not available for a while. But very quickly it came back to the stock with a little bit more increase in the price, around $20 per terahash. Okay, for the high hash rate models, the next hash rate we have to cover comes from WhatsMiner. I don't think this is mentioned or being sold a lot, but these two models are M60S and M60. So the M60S is 178 terahash, which I think is a very standard model, also the highest. It is higher than the M60, which is 166, 168, and 170 terahash. It does look like all these manufacturers, when they want to produce a standard model and when they have some inferior or less good performance with the production, then they give you more choices. I guess this M60S is a standard model. They name it 178 terahash, which is also 18.5 joules per terahash. The price for the M60 or M60S is quite high, and I don't think most of the distributors or sellers are offering this option very much. And the price is very high, which you can find from the WhatsMiner e-commerce website, like $25 per terahash. Okay, so the next model we want to cover is S19 Hydro 184 terahash, which has been quite popular. It is only around like $8 to $9 per terahash. And yes, I do want to talk about price today. And this S19 Hydro 184 terahash has been really popular. I think it's mainly because it's a standard production coming out from the Bitmain company. And we do get asked for some other hash rate models like 148, 140, 54 maybe, but they are not very much available. So my suggestion is to get one of those 184 terahash because they are very much available. And when a model is very much available, you have more leverage in getting a better price from the sellers. So for the next model I want to talk about is the T21, which is 190 terahash for air cooling, which is 19 joules per terahash. To talk about that, we also have to talk about the S21 200 terahash, which is also for air cooling, which is 17.5 joules per terahash. So you can see these two model numbers look very much similar, T21 and S21, which are both for air cooling, and the power efficiency is 19 joules versus 70.5 joules per terahash, which is very close to each other. So you do have to pay attention that the cost of the S21 is much higher than the T21. If you're getting cheaper electricity, you can get this T21 190 terahash. Okay, for the S21 200 terahash, which is also perhaps the most anticipated miner in the 2024, at least for now, because I've received quite a few orders for the S21 January orders, and I did receive a bigger order for the Q1 for the S21 model. It seems that people cannot wait for longer and they prefer the S21 January delivery, although they would like to pay a much higher price. Okay, so to talk about the S21, we also cannot forget the Hydro model, which is S21 Hydro 335 terahash, which is power efficient at 16 joules per terahash. The cost for the Hydro model and the air cooling model is very much similar. You can call it the same. And I actually have a very good deal for the March delivery from the Bitmain company. So if you're interested in this private deal, inside deal with the Bitmain company for the March delivery, you can check with me one-on-one. Okay, when I talk about this, I also want to remind you that I also have a really great deal and also an inside deal from the Bitmain company for the March delivery for the S19K Pro 120 terahash. I don't know why they both happening March, maybe because the halving was happening exactly at that time and they expect the price to break significantly, so they would like to offer you like some amazing deal for the March delivery. Okay, so that's pretty much about ASICs for the Bitcoin mining. So the next cryptocurrency for mining I want to talk about is Casper.